It's AMP Studios live time again, and I'm so honored to be sharing another episode with you. I'm Black Slim, and I'll be your tour guide today around a part of South Africa's music industry that I'm sure you've never seen before. Plus, an unforgettable performance. And it all happens right here on this very stage at AMP Studios in Newtown. On this week's show, we tackle the building blocks around some of music's biggest careers. What does it take to realize your dreams? When do you quit? What kind of obstacles are in your way? And how do you start thinking long-term and investing in your own career the right way? Sometimes it's easy to look at our biggest stars and think, they've got it easy. But tonight, you'll hear stories you've never heard before, and some you won't even believe. From stars like J Something, Tresor, Tsepo, and more. You don't hear these stories anywhere else, only here at AMP Studios Live. Let's go.
I remember the first time I heard my voice on radio. I was walking the streets of Lesotho. I jumped with joy when I heard my voice on radio. It was playing at a shop outside. If I had money then, I would have paid just to hear myself on radio or to be on stage. That's the kind of love I have for music.
Everything starts at the source. The source is in passion for the music. When you look after the music, everything looks after itself.
I would advise young artists to really search, to really find out why they want to sing, why they want to dance, why they want to be stars. Think before you plunge in. Think about what you really want to do.
You know, there's this thing where if people don't see you in the press a lot, they ask you, "Usacula?" And my answer is always that I was singing before you knew I was singing.
Exactly.
The biggest lesson that I learned was that you are the business, you are the talent, you are the passion. Basically, it must start with you, because no one is going to invest in you if you don't invest in yourself. And that doesn't mean money, necessarily. It really doesn't mean money. It means you believing, and it means you doing the groundwork.
Started by doing a little bit of medicine because, you know, the parents wanted a doctor. Medicine, you know medicine. 1996, that's when I actually learned how to DJ. And then I had my first business. You know, you hear this word business and you think it's something big. But business is a business. It doesn't matter even if you sell oranges, it's a business. I had a sound system. And with that sound system, I was able to provide a service, you know, make a little bit of money, but I was still staying in campus. Just a youngster, you know, carrying speakers and stuff. One boy DJing around the corner, you know, walking, take a taxi, pay 2 rand, go DJ, come back, you know, study.
At that time when you're a DJ, it was like, you just work on weekends and that's it, you know, but my whole high school years, I used to like practice, you know, so like grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, till matric. That was like my practicing years. So I like practiced for 5 years on bad equipment. I used to beg my family for DJing equipment. My mom, okay, Nasad again, she was like, dude, I'm a teacher, you need to go to school.
During the apartheid days, man, it was rough. You know what I mean? We came here with a band called Uhuru, and we were banned in South Africa for singing Africa Shall Unite. It was difficult, I mean, let alone money. Because even promoters, they would go, you pack up the hall, and then they give you 20 rand and say, "Ah, well done, Fanagit." You know? And that's how it was. I mean, I think I saw a bank account some 20 years ago. The 30 years, it was just hand to mouth, hand to mouth.
You can send 1,000 demos. You just need one person to believe. One. So many dots are connected. It's not just one straight path. When I realized that nobody was opening doors for me as an artist, I started writing songs and hanging at studios. And few people, rest in peace, Robbie Malinga and Mjalefa Tebe that produced Zahara, gave me the first ever chance to write for Zahara. I mean, I was nobody, man. I was nothing. I was a waiter at Pavilion in Durban, and I resigned at work for 2 weeks to go sit at the studio to see if they could sing any of my songs. Funny enough, they sang 2 songs.
Each week, we present an AMP Studios masterclass. This is where we get an industry specialist to give us a class on specific methods on how to create a career in music. And on this week's masterclass, we'll hear from Benza of Fifth Season, legendary management company you've probably heard of that have launched several of South Africa's biggest artists, including AKA. He'll be talking about some of the obstacles he had to face to break into the industry.
Now, the other thing as a manager, you have to get used to hearing no. You're going to hear it a lot because you're introducing something brand new. The people who have not heard it before, don't have time for you, and just have their own agenda set already. And if you're breaking something and you're disrupting something, you're going to hear a lot of no. So if you don't like no's, I think maybe get a different job. But you're going to hear a lot of no's. And we enjoy hearing no's because hearing no's for us meant that we were doing something different, meant that we're doing something that actually people needed. When hip-hop was just growing, we heard no colored guy wouldn't make it, English rapper wouldn't make it, the music is not hood enough. We heard all those no's. We heard no's from all the major labels, and the more we heard no, and the more we listened to the music, and the more we saw the passion in the artists, it made us actually want to do this even more. And that's why we managed to break AKA, because he was different and he was special, and no one saw it before. So if we had stopped at the 10th note that we heard, he wouldn't be here. If you knew Tresor way back then, he was a Congolese guy singing in English pop music. That was not on radio. That was nowhere to be found on radio. That was nowhere to be found. People weren't thinking of that. But we loved it. We loved the music. We loved his energy. We knew that he was musically gifted. And we thought, let's make it happen. Let's break through it. And now, Tresor's currently, this last deal, it was a 7-figure deal.
That was Benza of Fifth Season on our AMP Masterclass. We'll show you more from him a little bit later on the show. You can watch the full video of all the masterclasses and hero conversations on the AMP Studios website, ampstudios.co.za, or just search for us on YouTube. A lot of your favorite artists' journey to stardom has been rocky, but none more than Tresor. Tresor escaped from the Congo and arrived in South Africa without being able to speak a word of English. If you want to hear about a true grit and dedication to building a career, it doesn't get more heartbreaking than this. And we hope Tresor's story inspires you to keep your vision for your career close.
I come from a very small town called Goma in Congo. You must go Google it. It's a beautiful place, but also that has seen some of the most craziest atrocities, beat wars and child soldiers. And like I grew up around the Rwandan genocide. I was about 8 years old. So we saw some of the most horrible atrocities that ever committed to humankind. And I grew up around that environment. When I was about 17, I lost both my parents. And so I left my hometown by bus, went to Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. I got robbed, I lost my passport. So I started traveling like literally illegally from Malawi, walking between parks, so a lot of national parks in Malawi and Mozambique, swimming in rivers at night, not to be caught. Some of them had crocodiles in it, and I ended up in South Africa. It took about 3 months. I was very young. I went through a border post called Manguzi, which is Mozambique side, the back of a little bantam bakkie, small bakkie, and about 15 of us squashed in the back. I got dropped at a place called the Warwick Junction in Durban. I'm sure you guys know it. I remember being so lost and looking like very, very, very dirty because I haven't showered like in weeks, and my clothes were torn from the running and rivers and all the great stuff was happening. That's how I got to South Africa, and from there I knew what I wanted to do. And I kept focused from the time I landed my foot in Durban and worked as a car guard, as a security guard, as a gardener. That was very horrible gardener. I used to mow the cable all the time. It's very horrible, on the real though. But I really got to build great relationships. And it's always been a dream of mine to be an artist and also build a business and venture to other things. And I'm really grateful to be here. And man, I think we're just getting started.
Sure.
We need to balance yesterday and today to make every day more fruitful to us. Today, you take a computer, you take a laptop, you press a few buttons, you've got a beat. You call yourself a producer. You go out there, you dance, you find somebody else, it goes up. You call yourself a professional artist. We started with a hammer and a nail and because you are tired, then you've got the katang. And I'm just trying to say we need that balance. We need that balance. And life is about a balance. You know what I mean? There's no good without bad. There's no bad without good. You know what I mean? Learn from your yesterday. You know, your yesterday's pain is your today's joy.
Coming up after the break, we give you more insight from one of South Africa's most prolific managers, Benza from Fifth Season, as well as one of the most moving tributes to an icon you'll ever hear. Keep your tissues handy for what's coming after the break.
AMP Studios Live, brought to you by Old Mutual. AMP Studios Live, brought to you by Old Mutual.
Welcome back to AMP Studios Live, the powerful new partnership between AMP Studios by Old Mutual and MTV Base. Early on in the show, we showed you a segment from Benza of Fifth Season's Management Masterclass. In this segment, he gives you useful strategies to what you need to do to keep your career on the right track. Roll it.
When the artists become busy and get a lot more attention and start to make some money, this is something that also, from us at Fifth Season, we also know that it's very important to start speaking to your artists about it in the beginning, and that's finance, and that's money. And the way we looked at it is, we have a top 5 smart money moves that we always advise our artists. On your first big check, you need to buy yourself some clothes. Not Louis Vuitton, not Gucci, because that is an investment in what you look like. You're gonna be going to a lot of places, you're gonna be at shows, you're gonna be doing a lot of radio interviews, you're gonna be a lot of TV interviews, so you need to look the part. People are gonna see a lot of you. Next big check, you have to take care of your debt. You have to do that. If there's a loan shark you owe, a car you owe, you pay that off as soon as you can, because those things are gaining interest and those things will hurt you later on. The third big check, we advise to buy an asset or two. An asset could be an apartment, an asset could be a studio space, an asset could be mics and instruments, everything that helps you keep on going. The fourth big check, investments. Try to get something in money marketing, unit trust is very key as you lay those foundations. It's not the time for you to go and buy things that are going to go away quickly. And then on the fifth big check, that one's for you. Go on a holiday. Most artists, when they get started, they get addicted to being on stage. They get addicted to that attention. You've been hustling, you've been working. Take yourself on a holiday. It's going to clear your mind.
Great advice from someone who's been there and done it multiple times. On this week's Icons Hero Conversation, we have two unbelievable legends. The incredible Jay Something of Casa, whose career has been nothing short of a series of smart moves, and Vusi Mahlasela, who is signed to the ATO Records in the USA. He spends half of his life traveling overseas with some of the biggest artists in the world.
What were your struggles, for you to be recorded for the first time, to produce demos, or to go to some people and say, hey, I have a song, can you listen to me? Because I get quite a lot of that. At my post box at home in my Melodic Gardens, when I open there, there's demos and everything and letters,
Unlike most aspiring musicians, I never thought that it could ever actually happen. It's something that you think about, but you don't really believe it's true. So how music happened for me was pretty random, but there's a lesson in it for me, is that I went for it and I did something that was really out of my comfort zone. There was this DJ playing in Johannesburg on a rooftop. I was invited to this party, and I was just at a party, and then he was playing nice beats, and I was a really shy guy, and I don't know why, but I went up to the DJ, and I said to the DJ, hey, can I pick up the mic and can I sing over your beats? The DJ was Dr. Duda, who's the one-third of Casa. And he was like, sure. And then I started jamming, and then the guy that was promoting the party, he had a brother, and his brother played trumpet. And he called his brother, and he was like, yo, there's a vibe happening. You should come and play with these two guys. So Mo came. I didn't know him, and I didn't know Duda. And we just started jamming. So they then said, yo, you guys can make a band. And then I had to beg Dr. Duda, because he was already an established brand. And for 3 months, he just kept saying, no, dude, like I'm a DJ, like I've got my own thing. And I just said, just do one song. Let me get into studio with you for one song. And then we wrote These Streets. And then next thing I knew, it was like, wow, we're gone. It was crazy. Like when I look back, it's just so fast. But I think that the lesson for me is, and it's something that I've carried through in my career, is act on this.
O feel abanga sound e leng gore currently e growile ko Mamelodi e ba bitsang mapiano, and young people by long or they do hip hop.
Look, man, I think it's okay to move with the times, but you have to understand the real source, the source about that drum that you mix. You know, there is a real drum that doesn't come from the technological stuff, and that drum, you have to understand that, you know, in Africa, when they go and do the drum, they are going to cut a tree. And before they cut a tree, they do a ceremony to pray and make a special ritual. So you are playing it on the techno, but you are leaving something there, man, which is something important that you should know as an African.
Oh, that's deep, man. I think that one of the biggest problems with like aspiring musicians is that we just jump on trends. So we're like, oh, hip-hop is popping, Mapiano's popping, let me do Mapiano. Bro, you're just chasing trends, man. And then all you're gonna have to do is just keep chasing trends. What happened to the people that put everything into Gom? Gom's gone now. The problem, and it's aligned with what Pravusi is saying, is that not enough of us do digging. Not enough of us do soul searching about who am I? Forget about the trends, man. Forget about the sounds. Like what comes out when you close your eyes and you hear a song? How do you find you in music? And that's the problem, is that it's easy to make music and then we all think we're stars. But it's not easy to birth a star. It's because you need to do a lot of soul searching. You need to understand how they made that drum. And that drum took many things. And I mean, that's deep, man. That is truth, bro.
A lot of people think I'm crazy. Like, my friends always thought I was crazy. My family, like when you feel something, man, go and do it. Like, don't doubt it. Like, go and do it. With all your heart, with all your might, all your strength, and always do it good. Never settle. Not halfway, not, okay. Do it so good, man. Like, do it so good. And if you fail the first time, do it 1,000,000 times until you get it good.
The goal is like doing what you want to do and hoping that it succeeds. And if it doesn't, old age saying, you need to get up and try again.
A lot of people read books, but they don't learn nothing. Ooh. Start learning from yourself. You are a special book the world is waiting to read.
Oh, come on. Don't forget to go to the AMP Studios website for more info, or if you want to see more videos, or even use AMP Studios recording or live streaming facilities. AMP Studios is a free culture hub for all emerging artists, and we look forward to having you right here. Also, if you want to join our AMP Studios community for updates, content drops, and exclusive invitations, join our WhatsApp line by WhatsApping your name to 081-707-6636. This episode was shot in the week that the iconic Johnny Clegg passed away, and these two artists decided to create a tribute collaboration track for the spirit of the great heart star.
La Oh, the sea is cold and the sky is gray. Look across the island into the bay. We are all islands till comes the day we cross the burning water. A seagull wings across the sea. Broken silence is what I dream. Who has the words to break the silence between you and me? Our city, hey, wena, hey, wena, hey, wena, hey, wena, nawe. Sofika nene la siakona, asibonanga, asibonanga, umane atina, la pekona, la pekelikona.
That's it, another episode from AMP Studios Live. See you next week, right here from AMP Studios in Newtown Junction. I'm Black Slim, and you're awesome.